Question
Water.
667. Which person do you interact with the most in your real life without knowing what their name is? And is it too late to ask them now?
Oh. Yes.
My real life.
Obviously, they don't really matter since you haven't asked their name.
No, it's...
Well, no, they can matter. I mean, I would have to say probably mine would be the guy that owns the pizza shop.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say the woman that runs the shop down the bottom of the street, like.
Right? But my daughter went to school with his daughter.
Oh.
Right? So I know him vaguely well. But I've absolutely no clue what his name is.
Mine was really bad. It was a guy who, you know, we lived in the same neighborhood for forever. I knew the name of his band that he was in. I knew where they played. We went to the same coffee shop all the time. We always said hello. We were on a level of acquaintanceship where we hugged when we saw each other. But he had told me his name when we first met, and I forgot it. And then 5 years later, it was way too late to ask. But I asked anyway, and he was so angry, he never spoke to me again. Yeah.
Oh, God. That's
I still feel bad about it. Awful. It was really shitty, but I wasn't.
Why did you ask him?
I just forgot.
Why didn't you ask someone else?
Well, because I couldn't. I would tried all kinds of things. Like I tried introducing him to other people to see if he'd say what his name was, and it never happened. It was like something out of a freaking sitcom. It was ridiculous.
I always tell people, I bring them together and then I say, introduce yourselves.
Yeah.
Introduce
That's a
yourself.
good one.
It's actually made me think of another. My mum. There's only two houses where my mum lives, and it's her house and the next door neighbours. And obviously, I grew up there. And the next door neighbour was Joe Thomas and Deirdre Thomas. And then Deirdre died, and he was on his own for ages. And now he has another woman. And yes, they're both, obviously old or whatever, and all the rest of it. And they're together, and she lives there. And I know her to the point where we're allowed to go into their backyard and with the daughter, and she plays in the fountain and flowers and all the rest. And she comes out, and, "Hi, how are you?" I have no fucking clue what that woman's name is.
Yep.
Seraphim
I'm in
says,
her back garden,
Yeah.
playing with and no idea who she is.
I don't know the name of any of my neighbours. Seraphim, I do talk to them. Seraphim says most of my co-workers. Brainbug says my mail lady. Nerdy says there are about 4 different people behind the counter at the supermarket. I don't think the social norm is to ask the supermarket staff what their names are, and if they don't have name badges. But no. And then B shouts Snowflake. I'm assuming that's probably at the guy that got pissed at you asking his name.
Well, I honestly somebody for 5 years, and you're close enough that you hug whenever you see each other. I think he had a right to be concerned.
I
don't think he was
just
being a
admit to
snowflake.
people out front that I forget names, and that way I don't have that problem in the future because they don't find it funny when I ask them what their name is.
I find it much easier that I talk to people more through StreamYards now.
Because their name's in front of you.
Yeah. Isn't that right, Dave?
Yes, absolutely right.
Took her a minute.
So who's yours? Have you got Jen?
What?
Whose name don't you know?
Answer the fucking question.
Whose name did...
Remember, that's why we're here.
There was a guy in the company I used to work for. There was a guy who, we were all on site techs, and he was in the main office in a different city actually, but he would, if we were on site and we needed technical information that we didn't actually have with us at the time, he would go and look it up and give us the feedback and everything. And for 2 years whilst I was working with them, I could not remember what his fucking name was. And then I had to go interstate and visit them, and I had to meet him face to face, and I couldn't remember what his fucking name was then either, and I had to admit to that, and he got really shitty with me. He wouldn't talk to me for a month.
Yeah, people.
And this is somebody I worked with, so he got pissy with me about it. His name is Michael, by the way.
You can remember it now.
And I haven't worked for that company for 10 years, and I cannot forget his name. And
Jennifer
he no longer works for them either. I know that too. So.
Jennifer says,
Forget his name.
If I was the person whose name was unknown, I would think it was hilarious if someone I knew fairly well asked my name. Manda!
Antique Curtains. That was his band name.
That was his band name.
Still can't tell you the name of the guy. That was his band name.
Have they got big enough that you can look them up yet and it'll list the members?
I don't know. I don't know. It's Memphis. There are a lot of bands, and this was a while ago. So.
Manda.
I mean, a lot of people we interact with online that we don't necessarily know their real names. Although most people tell me. Although I think Junk Shop is like probably the one person that I'm closest with. I have no idea what his name is.
Oh, good, because I've doxed them.
How do you say? How do you not know his name? I mean, I've never heard it from him once.
Yeah, I've never heard them say it, but that's that's fine. I get that. But I have a second cousin that lives in Phoenix that I would spend a lot of time with, and she told me her son's name, but I forgot it, and for like a year. I didn't know how to refer to him because I was too afraid to sound like an asshole and be like, what, Leanna, what is your son's name again? Like, I felt really bad about it. So I would just keep referring to him as your son.
Yeah. Bring along your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to say, the number of times that I get one or more of you to ask people to come in here because I can't remember their name is far too often.
Oh wow! Oh, that is ammunition. There, you probably shouldn't have told us that.
I could
next
use.
time you know that person you are. Okay, you can't remember who it is, can you, Dave?
I'm trying to think of people whose name I can remember that I know, and I pointed out two in the chat, which was Nerdy and Spooky. I both have known the name of, and I absolutely no clue what they are now.
You know Nerdy and Spooky's real name?
Yeah. And you know what's really
Yes,
funny
too.
is Junk Shop's. Junk Shop is a perfect example as well. I forget his name constantly. Oh, keep saying him. I'm sorry.
Their name.
Their name. But I keep forgetting it constantly. But luckily, Julie reminds me.
I do. I'm good at that. I do not like it when people, because it's Junk Shop Library, right? And I don't mind Junk Shop. I do not like it when people shorten it all the way to junk. I'm like, can you not? That's playing hero for private parts. Can you not do that? Just throwing that out there.
It's even worse if they go, how's your husband, Junk?
All right? Yeah.
I saw someone
none of your
yesterday.
business would be
I'm
the
not
answer.
keen as well. I saw someone yesterday shorten it to JSL. I'm not wonderfully keen on that. Do you?
I do that.
Why?
I don't know. And I do it constantly for Doorknob Head.
Junkyard.
If I'm typing on my phone, I don't have you can't just type at and then two letters and their name pops up.
Yeah, you have to type the whole thing out.
You have to type the whole thing and fuck typing Junk Shop space lab JKL or JSL. There you are. It's easier.
You see, I don't mind JS, actually. B says she uses JS.
No, and JS or JSL is fine. Because it's not as weird.
Three letters is too many for a nickname. It's okay for a written,
that's fingers.
for a written nickname, like FBR, JFK, LBJ, that kind of thing. But for addressing somebody in verbal, 3 is too many.
There's a whole song in Hair with those initials.
Right. Oh, moving on.
What did you drop? We need to know now. What did you drop?
Have you not seen this before? This is what I'm always. I've got to be fidgeting with something, or I go nuts. It's a.
I do the same thing. I have a peg.
I have a cube that's got a thing on that it's got a widdly bit. Oh, it's green, so you can't see the bits.
Bit.
I'd have to turn the green screen off for you to see it because it's black with green bits. It just looks like a black cube.
That's okay. I always find something on my desk to fiddle with because
I don't need to see the wiggly bit. It's fine.
Do you know? Very good wiggly bits. They go in multiple directions.
Oh my God.
Dave,
I'm sorry. I'm 12 years old.
That's
okay.
Real skill.
you didn't ask me,
You answered though.
but you didn't ask.
Would you like to answer again? With another answer?
I didn't answer before.
I thought you did.
No.
Do you have an
He
answer, Jen?
forgot you. He forgot you midstream, Jen. That's.
I'm used to it. I'm very forgettable.
What would your answer
Oh,
be?
you're not.
Disagree.
When I meet somebody, I usually tell them that I'm very bad with names, and that I will ask their name several times over the next few weeks until I remember it, until it burns in, and then I'm just free to be myself and either remember or forget their name until it locks in. I see no sense in trying to pretend.
Well done.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Exactly.
I'm rational.
No, I mean,
Well,
if
I tell
I'd done
people.
that with that guy instead of being embarrassed, it wouldn't have taken 5 years, and he would have been so pissed.
It's taken me a long time to get to the point where I will tell people that I won't remember. And then the worst thing about having my memory problems is I don't know what I won't remember. I just know that it's always important. It's really weird.
All I know is what I will forget will be important.
Yeah, pretty much. Of course, the problem is that you don't know that you've forgotten things that aren't important. If that makes sense.
Honestly, Dave, you should make a T-shirt with that on it.
I'll forget.
Nasty.
Right. Hi, Lucy. There you go. Jennifer says, I've known my cat for almost 10 years. I still don't know his name. Have you thought about
Isn't that the
asking him?
worst though? Because we've got 5 cats here, and you'll go to say something to one of the cats or about one of the cats, and you'll go through about 4 or 5 names before you actually hit the actual correct cat's name.
They don't take
No, my
it
mother does
personally.
that with children.
I do this to people. I do this about my kids, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah. I get
My
called my
parents did
sister's
that.
name by my mom.
My parents did that. My aunts and uncles do it. I've seen friends do it. That's common as all snap.
It's really frustrating though, especially when you're
Oh,
the person
I
doing it,
believe
because you go, "Oh, Fred, Jill, Greg, what the fuck's your name?"
You live here, I will find out.
Angel
Yeah.
pronounces his own name wrong. I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point he does it on purpose just to piss me off. But the first few times he attempted to say it, he said it wrong, and now he just says it wrong all the time. So he's a little twat.
Right.
My mother was that angry at us when we were younger that she would forget our names when she was screaming, and she'd be like, "Fucking just forget," because she's so angry. But we were bastards.
Yeah. You knew if mom started at the top and went through the whole tour in birth order, she was really pissed.
Yeah. When you get the full name, you're like, oh.
Oh, yeah. If I heard my first, middle, and last name, oh, yeah. That was bad. Really bad.
It was bad anytime I heard any part of my name. I hated it.
Oh, dear.
It's
But
like,
hey, it's part of the disease.
if anyone in my family ever calls me Jennifer, I know I've pissed them off.
Yeah, that's the only time I ever call my daughter Jennifer.
Fuck, what have I done?
My mother actually took us to an orphanage one time and parked out front of it and told us to get out of the car. She was fucking sick of us. Like, and what the fuck? Like, she had no intention of doing it. It was deliberately a scare factor. Like, but yeah, she parked at the bottom of the hill and she was like, "Get out! I'm fucking dealing with you no more. You want to do what you want. Go and fucking find someone else that'll put up with you." It was like, "It's all right."
Oh, my God.
That's
Yeah.
evil. I'm
I'm
brilliant.
officially scared of Math Pig's mom.
Oh. No, she was the person that the kids were sent to be disciplined. You did not do what you were told. You did what you were told.
And yet you still managed to blow up chunks of the countryside.
Yes, but that's she wasn't watching us then. You know?
Yes,
That's
but the whole
called
point was she was
talent,
meant to
Dave.
be. She was meant to be a disciplinary to the point where you wouldn't do that when she wasn't watching.
No. We were a disciplinary to the point where we were to do what she says. You know, that's it. We can blow shit up. She didn't say don't blow shit up.
She didn't say don't blow shit up.
She opened the door and said, "Get
Listen,
out." and don't come back
excuse
to your
me,
home."
you grew up in Northern Ireland. I would have thought
Yeah.
that was something a mother would have to say.
No. Don't join them organisations.
Oh, I see. Don't join the bad guys, but you can go blow shit up.
You can blow shit up. Just don't join an organization where they blow shit up.
I can see that.
Were you an active participant in the Troubles?
No, I was too young. I'm only 37, but I grew up during it. When Dave's talking about us blowing shit up, that was just us with fireworks and making explosives and things like that.
Oh, that's just regular shenanigans.
Here, that was just kids being kids. But
yeah, same here.
I love how you say that's just kids being kids, but when I grew up, we didn't make explosives and like.
No, neither did we in the rest of the UK.
No, fireworks. That's very, I don't know, that was very normal. I grew up in a very small, very boring town, so we had to make our own fun.
Where did you get explosives from?
Well, I think the main thing you're referring to would be, when we would blow up the deodorant cans and use them and things like that. And you make explosives
we definitely did that. We definitely blew
Fun?
up deodorant cans. They were fun.
Yeah.
And
the Anarchist Cookbook. You could just download the Anarchist
father's,
Cookbook, man, and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was infinitely better than you lot. I didn't do any of that. The worst thing I did was we lit a campfire underneath Mum and Dad's house.
You lit a fire you tried to set fire to someone's house. Yes, we're the bad guys here.
I don't know, I think
we were camping out underneath the house because the house was off the ground, so you could actually get underneath the crawl space. And we made a campfire, and Dad came down under the house and goes, "What the fuck are you lot doing?" Because all the smoke had gone up inside the house.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been in as much trouble.
Jenny, how did you blow up your dad's shotgun shells? Did you get the powder out, or
we would cut them open with a hacksaw to get the powder out?
Right.
Oh wow.
We would use that to build. We invented our own hand launched missile that would explode on contact.
Yep.
Cool. And then practice
right.
with it by shooting it into a train boxcars as they went past. It worked. Yeah.
Spooky says he made gunpowder at school.
Oh, my mother would have killed me.
Aw, puppy!
And then Math Pig says in the chat that he made grenades.
They're not technically grenades. They were kiddie grenades.
They were kiddie grenades.
Stop fucking talking before I get angrier.
That's why you left. That's why I typed it in the chat.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.